Section 3.2.RA-13, we want to find the population standard deviation given for the following data: 4, 10, 18, 23, and 5. Now for part 1, the population standard deviation of a variable is given by the following formula. We have the population standard deviation is equal to x1 minus the population mean squared plus x2 minus the population mean squared all the way to the last particular value divided by the number that's in the particular sample. And it can be summarized as the square root of the sum of all of the numerators divided by n, where again x1, x2, and xn are the n observations in the population, and mu is the population mean. Now the first thing we need to do is find the population mean, mu. Now since there are 5 observations, meaning that there's 5 numbers, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, we know that n is going to equal 5. So to find the population mean, we're going to add those up and divide by 5, and therefore the population mean is equal to 16. Now next, we're going to compute the deviation about the mean for each data value. So we're going to take each data value and then subtract the population mean, and then square these values, and then we're going to complete the following table. Now the population mean we know is 16 from what we got up there. And then in order to find the deviation about the mean, we're going to take the data value 4 and subtract 16, and that's going to give us negative 12. And then once we get that negative 12, we're then going to square it to get 144. And then again, we know that our population mean is 16. So we're going to take our data value 10, subtract 16 to get negative 6. And so we take negative 6 and square that to get positive 36. And then we have, again, our population mean is 16. So we're going to take 18, subtract 16 to get the value of 2. We're going to take 2 and square it to get the value of 4. And then again, the population mean is 16. We're going to take 23, subtract 16. And therefore, that's going to give us the value of 7. So 7 squared is going to give us 49. And then we have 16 again as the population mean. We're going to take 25 and subtract 16. That's going to give us 9. And if we take 9 and square it, then that gives us 81. Now once we've done that, we want to be able to find the sum of all of these numbers. And the sum meaning using the summation of that. So that's going to be the following from our formula. So in the next step, number 4, we're going to compute the sum of the squared deviations about the mean. So we're going to add up these numbers, 144 plus 36 plus 4 plus 49 plus 81, and that gives us 314. Now to find the population standard deviation, we're going to divide this sum by the number of observations in the population n, and then take the square root of the result, and recall that n is equal to 5. So here's our formula. In order to get the population standard deviation, it's going to be the square root of 314 and divide it by the n observations, which is 5, which gives us the square root of 62.8. And then let's go ahead and do that on our calculator. If we take second square root of 314 and divide that by 5, that gives us 7.924, and we round it to 2 decimal places for the standard deviation, so the answer is 7.92.